Back with the Sports Crunch, rock100diz.com. Yours truly, Captain, along with my buddy Paul Hollywood, back from the Great White North. He was up in Tennessee. Also in studio today, Tom Y on the camera.
Let's get to work.
We spoke with Ricardo Griffin with the Turkey Bowl organization down off the Parramore neighborhood earlier in the show in regards to trying to help them come up with a solution, if not a sponsorship, for their Turkey Bowl next year. Paul, how did you feel about that?
Well, I think that they get together with community leaders in advance, and probably way in advance, I think they can come up with a better solution than what they offer them this year.
Okay, well, with that said, let's move right along with the Sports Crunch. Monday Night Football icon Dandy Don Meredith passed away today at the age of 72.
He had 12 years. He was the initial one of them. Actually, he wasn't there the first year, but the year after that he was there. So he went from, I think, 71 all the way to, I think, 1983.
And also he did, what was it? He did some commercials.
Yeah.
And
he dabbled in some TV. He did a couple of crime shows, and it was weird when he actually went off Monday Night Football because, like, he was so popular, and everybody figured he just hated working with Howard Cosell, and that's why he got off. But
Howard Cosell.
I think that he probably made a bad career move when he left Monday Night Football.
And then he kind of went into, like, reclusion or something like that. Didn't hear from him.
So who's left then out of the original group then? Just Frank Gifford?
Yeah, Frank Gifford's the only one left alive. Yeah.
Wow.
Kathy Lee will keep him going.
Yeah. her and Hoda.
Hoda woman.
On that note, let's talk about the games yesterday in the Church of the NFL. I'm going to start with the worst one of them all. What happened to the Redskins? Have they mailed it in?
They met the Giants.
Yeah, I think the Redskins have mailed it in.
And it's kind of funny. I guess you didn't read your Facebook.
Yes, I did, and I sent you a reply, too. It said smartass.
Well, anyway, the thing that was asked today and a lot of things is, do you feel like you're better off now with the management team you've got now running the team and everything that you did a year ago before you switched everything around? I mean, would you have rather had Jason Campbell back? And
what did I tell you from the very beginning? We never should have gotten rid of Jason Campbell. We should have kept Jason Campbell, should have made him second-string quarterback. You had Donovan McNabb there. You see what Campbell's doing with Oakland. He could have learned from this guy and been the heir apparent.
Well, what the national people were talking about today, because they really weren't talking about this game very much, but the thing that Shanahan, I think, is really blown right off the thing is this whole thing with Albert Hainsworth. It was a thing when he didn't, he didn't want to play the defense that, Shanahan wanted to do. They should have got rid of him then before they had to pay his bonus. They kept him, pay his bonus. And you guys still traded him. You wouldn't have gotten a lot, but, like, the Titans would have picked up his contract. You should have just gotten rid of him. I mean, he's been nothing but a cancer to the team. And now, your season was horrible, and you could have traded him and probably gotten a quality, at least, player or a draft pick and avoided all this, mess that they have with him.
I really feel bad. McNabb has not really got the team going where they need to be. I mean, I was pushing for him. I felt bad when the Eagles got rid of him. So I'm with Chris, though, man. When the Redskins are on TV and they're playing somebody other than the Jets or the Giants or Jags, I'm with them.
So, Eddie, Philip Daniels today ripped Albert Hainsworth, and he says, and I quote, "That's what I go out there and play for every day, my teammates, and I think that that's part of the game that has really skipped him by."
But, I still blame the coach, Shanahan, because if he knew that him and Hainsworth could not coexist and he could not work with him, he should have just gotten rid of him before they even played him that big roster bonus. Cut your losses. I mean, he didn't draft him. He was stuck with him when he took over as coach. That was, your former coach and your owner. They got him. And Shanahan going to say, hey, this guy's just not going to work for you. Either trade him or cut him. And I think that's what he should have done.
Well, the Giants whooped the Redskins 31-7. It wasn't even a game. It was a joke.
Their running game was good. Their passing game was good. I mean, Giants look good.
But I'm not sold on the Giants yet. They're going to Minnesota next week, and I could see them laying an egg up there. I don't know. I mean, I was at Meadowlands 2 weeks ago, and I saw them play the Jags, and the Jags should have beaten them, and they let them off the hook. But
yeah.
I'm not sold on the Giants being an elite team by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, now with them, we're talking about the Giants segueing to the Minnesota-Buffalo game.
Now, that was the only, out of all the schedule yesterday, that was the only game that was a mud on the day as far as a game that had no playoff implications whatsoever, because neither Buffalo or Minnesota are going to make the playoffs. All the other games actually had a team that was actually involved with a playoff scenario.
and Minnesota walked away with it 38-14. Tavarius Jackson was running and gunning because your boy got knocked out.
Yeah, but he had 3 interceptions, so he wasn't that good.
Oh, he had 3 picks?
He had 3 picks. So
okay, well, how many pick sixes?
And he got hurt again.
Yeah, well,
But Tavarius Jackson got hurt again?
No, he didn't get hurt. Favre's hurt.
Favre's hurt.
Now, Favre should not play this upcoming week against the Giants, but it just depends if he wants to keep that streak alive. And you know what's funny about Favre? Think about all this. You know, he had that whole thing with that girl, Jen Sturge. You seem that like that's just like been pushed under the carpet. You heard nothing about it anymore.
Well, I can't even comment on that. I can't comment on that because we're taping.
Okay.
Okay. Cleveland over the Fish, 13-10.
I think right now Dolphins should be ashamed of themselves. They're 5-1 on the road, 1-5 at home. Chad Henne, I mean, what's wrong with you throwing an interception late in the game like that? I mean, I really question if he's the future of the Dolphins.
Paulie, he's a bum. He's a freaking bum, and the Fish stink.
Well, I mean, how could you be 5-1 on the road and 1-5 at home?
Well, maybe we should ask Cassano that
you've
question.
Got the heat and everything there. I mean, they lost all these games. They had the home advantage down there, and they've got a good fan base down there. For them to put a show at home, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Speaking of teams ashamed of themselves, listen to this score: Kansas City 10, Denver 6.
Well, that was a lot different than when they played over a month ago. When I think it was like 49-24 or something like that, where Denver just totally rolled them. So this was payback for KC. KC's 8-4, leading the AFC West with a 2-game lead over San Diego and a game in hand. So it's almost a 2.5-game lead. I think San Diego losing yesterday to the Raiders was devastating for them.
Well, we'll talk about that game coming up. Green Bay 34, San Francisco 16.
Now, did you see the highlights? Were those uniforms ugly?
Green Bay's uniform, yeah.
That was the ugliest uniform I've ever seen.
The 1929 Packers.
No, is it something? Would you go out and buy, even if you're a fan of that team, would you go out and buy that uniform? That was an ugly uniform.
That was hideous.
I mean, you know, they have such a strict...
my mother-in-law would wear.
They have such a strict code, the NFL. They find players if their socks are... They need to control when a team brings back throwbacks that they're not hideous throwbacks like those.
Okay, speaking of hideous throwbacks, some folks would say Tampa Bay loses to Atlanta 28-24 in the Creamsicles.
And sure enough, the curse of the Creamsicle came back and they lost. If they would have wore their pewter and red, I think they would have won.
I don't know why you think that there's a curse with the Bucks and those
because
Creamsicles.
They never won nothing with. They were 0-14 in those uniforms, where they won a Super Bowl with the red and the pewter.
But Paulie, they did go worst to first and almost get to the Super Bowl by losing to the 79 Rams 9-0.
You had like 12 consecutive years of losing in the Creamsicles.
So I like the Creamsicles, for crying out loud.
You just don't like that color.
I'll say one thing, at least yesterday. They had a walk-up crowd for that game of about 11,000, which was good because most weeks down there they weren't even getting in the high 30s. So at least there's some interest again to go see the team down there, even though they've been blacked out for the season.
Oakland 28, San Diego 13. The Superchargers laid an egg.
And that's going to be a devastating loss for them because I really don't think they're going to catch KC now. And if they go like 500, will they finally get rid of Norv Turner? I think they should. I think the fans want him out big time.
New Orleans 34, Cincinnati 30. That game was shown here in Orlando.
And that was a good way they won that game at the end, baiting Cincinnati to jump off sides where they could get the touchdown. You know, I mean, Cincinnati, is that the ultimate mess team of the year, 2-10?
Yes. Right behind the Redskins. The Bears knock off the Lions 24-20, and the Lions had the Bears in the corner again and let them off the hook.
Well, I didn't see that game, but you have to give the Bears credit. You know, they're putting up a nice streak of wins now. If the playoffs ended today, they're one of the teams that get a bye in the first round. So if they beat the Packers when they play them in a couple weeks, they'll win that division.
Seattle 31, Carolina 14, two stinkers.
Well, you know, Seattle is tied for first place now with the Rams, so I think when they play each other again, we'll decide who wins that division.
St. Louis 19, Arizona 6.
That's a mutt game, but St. Louis, I think Sam Bradford's the Rookie of the Year.
Okay, Dallas beat Indianapolis 38-35 in overtime. I saw that game.
That was a great game. I was watching that in the airport, and I never rooted for the Cowboys so hard as I did in that game. Because
you rooted for the Cowboys?
Well, because by them beating the Colts, the Jags have sole possession of first place right now. So that's why I was rooting big for them.
Oh, okay.
I hate the Colts. Lisa, if you're listening, I hate the Colts.
Well, see, I hate the Cowboys. So
yeah, but one thing I'll say about the Cowboys, it's kind of funny. This is a 4-8 team that there's people actually really interested in them because you want to see if Jason Garrett can bring them back to respectability and see if he gets the head coach. Like they're on the Sunday night game next week against the Eagles. Go figure.
Go figure. And real quick, Pittsburgh 13, Baltimore 10.
I think Joe Flacco is the villain in that one. I think the fact that in that one play when they did the pass that he did not see Parramore, and he took that thing to sack where they, get that turnover, which gave Pittsburgh the game. Flacco, I think, really has to take the blame for them losing that game.
Poor Joe Flacco. And that is our YouTube segment right here on the Sports Crunch on Rock100DIZ.com.